What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 26 of the RUDIS Wrestling Podcast. And I am solo today. This is going to be a long monologue. So if you're watching on camera, I don't think this is going to be very exciting. It's going to be me talking. I think probably you're better off listening to this on iTunes or other places that we are broadcast. Probably while you're driving to work, back work, to practice, to a tournament, I don't know, to something, to anything. Anyways, we have a lot of wrestling to talk about. There was so many things that happened this weekend. I think, I was actually thinking, is this actually more wrestling this weekend than we're usually used to? Or is it just this culture of social media flow has made us more aware and made the content more available to us? Because like yesterday, I had 3 streams running at the same time at 12 noon. I had Penn State, Wisconsin, I had Oklahoma State, Rutgers, and I had Iowa, Minnesota, all running at the same time playing. And it's like, man, I feel so old when I tell people like, dude, you couldn't even watch a live college match when I was in college, and that does, to me, now listen, maybe I'm getting old, to me, that doesn't seem like it was all that long ago. That seems like it was just a little bit ago. So anyways, let's get into it. So I think probably the one that we all want to talk about, and I'm going to not spend too much time because it was terrible, was Fix Suriano. This was a build-up. These guys had probably one of the most iconic high school matches of all time. They wrestled at Who's Number One, Flow. I want to say I was there 2015, maybe 2014, somewhere in there. And these guys went into 34 minutes of overtime. I'm sorry, the total match was 34 minutes, so 28 minutes overtime. Because the rules were, you had to get a takedown to win. And frankly, after watching these guys wrestle, that should probably just be the rules for these guys. They shouldn't have this double overtime right out. It makes it terrible because these guys are, and Matt and I kind of discussed this on the last episode. These guys are just so good at what they do. Both of them probably have a more it's a more defensive style than offensive, but the thing they both do so well that doesn't work on each other is they put pressure on, which then causes both Suriano and Fix Fix is better off the scrambles. He has some good down buckle behinds. Suriano is great off the re-attack, but those things happen because of the amount of pressure both them put, which is it's high level pressure. It's really, really, really good, but needless to say, it doesn't really work on each other. So if you watch the match on Sunday, what you saw 2 people who weren't taking very many attacks because, well, they didn't have very many openings. They weren't able to create the openings on each other. And frankly, I don't know that they ever will be able to. A good part of me feels like damn near every Fix Suriano match is going to look like this as it come down to like a double OT ride out. And neither one of them they're both good on top but not great on top, and both of them are better on bottom than on top, so they're probably always going to escape from each other. So like it wouldn't really shock me if the next one is 3-3 and someone wins on the amount of riding time in the right, it's the 6th overtime or whatever it is. But many would say this match was ruined by the hands of his call, but I would say this match was bad way before that. It was bad before that. We didn't really get a winner. There was no winners, not the fans, not the athletes, nobody. The referees were, man, they took literally forever to make the calls. I had that one on mute. I was listening to one of the other matches. I had that one on mute, and it was almost comical watching. So if you guys were watching that match, the referees were in the center of the screen, and then all of a sudden they would say something, and John Smith would come storming in from this side, and then the Rutgers coach staff would come storming in from this side, then John Smith would come in storming in from this side, then Chris Perry was in there with them, then Zach Esposito came out. It was just like, oh my God, this is disaster. What is going on there? Someone needs to get control of this situation. This looks terrible. And between the 2 challengers I believe there was, I don't know, that match had to take 20 minutes. Don't quote me. I was watching another match at the same time. Had to take 20 minutes. It was really, really, really long. So, like I said, we didn't get a winner in that match. It was terrible. I'd like to say I'm excited to see them wrestle again, but I'm not. I'm excited to see those 2 individuals wrestle other people. I'm not really excited to watch them wrestle each other at all. I think there's a good chance this will be the NCAA final. So, news kind of broke last week that Seth Gross is maybe going to take a medical. He's got the back issue. So, really got Malik Suriano, Fix. And then, man, when I go below that, I feel like maybe there's a few guys that can sneak in there, but not really. I feel like there's a really good chance, depending on which Steven Malik shows up, the Suriano Fix is going to be your NCAA final. It's going to be a boring NCAA final. Sorry. Okay, so the best match of that duel, while we're on Rutgers, Oklahoma State, although it's not the second thing I want to discuss, let's just stay on that. While we're on Rutgers, Arizona State, the best match of the duel was Gefeller-Ashnault. It was awesome. There was a lot of action in every position, really. And, for Caden Gefeller, I kind of feel almost similarly about Daton Fix as I do him. He's just not quite as good. We're talking Daton Fix with NCAA title as a freshman. If Caden Gefeller plays, say, top 4, but I'm not really surprised. Now, to get in that top mix, I guess we'll start. He lost on Friday, or Saturday, to Matt Kolodzik, number 1 in the country. He lost on Sunday to Anthony Ashnault, number 2 in the country. And he what he can't do, he can't generate a lot of his own offense. He doesn't have any particular great leg attack, which makes it really, really hard to beat those best guys, especially as disciplined as, Kolodzik's like ultimate disciplined. He gets in there and he's freaking on point, doesn't mess up, locked in, doing what he's going to do. He's not going to get into a stupid scramble where you're going to score a whole bunch of points on him, and that was the match. And then on Sunday, Gefeller actually scores the first takedown, got a couple really good reversals. But Ashnault, his leg attacks were just too crisp late. Now, I think it's one of those things where he realized, hey, this guy's pretty damn good. It's pretty scrambly. I better put my best leg attack on him. And boom, he puts his best leg attack on him. I think he scored a takedown at the end of the second, end of the third. I think. Or maybe it was 2 in the third. I don't remember. Anyways, wins 9-7. Then does the Pistol Pete shoot him up, which I thought was funny, man. Listen, people get pissed about the celebrations. I told you already. I'm okay with celebrating wrestling. I love to see a little bit of emotion. And then Caden Gefeller gets pissed, pushes him, and then, oh, man, it broke loose after that, which, man, that was a little too far. Hopefully we didn't need him to break out into a fight, but I did love a little Pistol Pete shoot him up because that was about what Anthony Ashnault did to him. All right, let's stick on Oklahoma State because I want to, let's just get all of that out of the way. So then we talked about the Princeton match. We talked about Caden Gefeller, Matt Kolodzik already, and we talked about what Caden Gefeller's got to get a little bit of offense if he's going to beat those very best guys. And let's remember, let's give him a little slack. Caden Gefeller was a 141-pounder starting this year. That's just where he was, and he couldn't beat out K. Brock. He got bumped up. He was actually the backup, right? He wasn't even the starter. He was the backup to Boo Llewellyn, and now he's ranked 5th in the country. So he's having a pretty good year. But if he wants to take it to that next level, if he wants to challenge for a national title, and honestly, I believe this whether it's 141 or 149 because 41 top of the division, you got it's McKenna, Yanni, Ironman, especially with those top 2, McKenna, Gefeller and Ironman would probably produce some really tremendous scrambles, but Yanni and McKenna, they can pick their spots on the offense a little better, and they're going to kind of do. I feel like they would do a similar thing to Caden Gefeller that a Matt Kolodzik did. That's just how I feel about it. So Caden Gefeller wants to take that next step. He's got to get to. He's got to figure out how to get to his offense. Okay, 25. Pickaninny, Pat Glory. I continue to be very, very bullish. Buy some Patrick Glory stock. He's really good. Man, I said this first when he got attacked by Spencer Lee, and I got kind of roasted a little bit on Twitter. Which, hey, that's fair. Man got tech fault. And I will say, I don't know why he continues to pick bottom. He kind of stinks on bottom. He's just not, you know what, he's really scrambly, he's long, he's just not powerful enough against some of these people. Nick pitching and he's really good on top. And maybe he wanted to get a feel from underneath there and see what it felt like. Maybe that's what it was. But Nick pitching in is really good on top. And, Patrick Glory gets the only 2 takedowns in the match. But he gets turned for 6 points. Gets rid of the whole second period. It's tough to win matches when you get rid of the whole second period and you get turned for 6 points. Really, really, really tough to do that. And so, for me, I was kind of shocked when he chose bottom. When I saw the score initially, I'm like, damn, I'm really shocked that Nick Piccinini kicked his butt like that. then when I watched the match, that's not really how it went down. And so in addition, sorry, I'm trying to enjoy my morning coffee as well, and it's hard when you're on the monologue, because usually I drink my coffee when Matt is talking. Now I don't have any time when Matt's talking, and so I have to drink my coffee when I'm talking. So it caused a little break. I apologize. I also tried to get Mr. Tommy, to come back and do an episode, and he just, the man's too busy. He just didn't have time to watch all these matches and come on here with me. So, sorry, by myself. I'm going to drink my coffee and take a little pauses. So, Patrick Lowry, Nick Piccinini. Patrick, stop choosing bottom. You're just not that good there. Maybe someday you will be. Today ain't that day. You're really, man, I love to watch you wrestle. You are really, 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 really good on your feet. And so what I was going to say is not only did Patrick Lowry have 2 takedowns, I thought he was close to a few other ones. And maybe I'm forgetting. I watched a lot of matches this weekend, so maybe I'm forgetting some sequence. But I didn't really feel like Nick Piccinini threatened him on his feet. I didn't really feel like that. I felt like Patrick Lowry was on his butt. There was the one sequence where he got the takedown in the first where, he's in on the shot, Piccinini kicks away, and then boom, he's back right in on the shot again. So I said this when Patrick Lowry got tech fault. I'm going to say this again. I feel similarly. If Patrick Lowry ended up 3rd place at the NCAA tournament, I don't really feel like he can beat Sebastian. I don't really feel like he can beat Spencer right now. If he ended up at 3rd at the NCAA tournament, I'm not really that surprised. I think when I look at the list that's above him, and now he's all the way up to 10th, when I look at the list above him, I could see him losing to some of those guys, like he lost to Piccinini. I think that's reasonable. I could also see him beating those guys. If you told me he'd beating Nick Piccinini next week or the week after, I'm not really that surprised. I think he's that. I think he's that good. So we'll see where that goes. Hey, let's stick with 125. I already have a sheet. Look, you can't see it down. I wish I could show you down. I have my computer. I'm looking at some rankings. I have the results up. I actually wrote this out last night, kind of what I was going to talk about, and then I forgot it at home. So now I'm freestyling right now. 25, we were excited by the emergence, I will say, of Matt and I talked at length about this last week. Malik Heinselman got pulled out of red shirt Friday night versus Indiana. He wrestles Elijah Oliver, who's 3-time NCAA qualifier. Good, not great wrestler. He's been in the top 20 on and off. And I thought Malik Heinselman looked good, right? Gets the win. Looks pretty good. But Sunday, and I haven't seen this match, so don't quote me, but I'm going to go by the score. It was a bloodbath. He loses 19-6 to Rayvon Foley. And so it's like, this is kind of what I thought would happen when I was saying with Matt. I think Malik Heinselman is going to be really, really good. I just don't think he's ready this year. And I get it. I get that Ohio State doesn't have a better option. He is their best option. And I get what Matt was saying that, hey, now after this weekend, it's looking like he's going to have a tough time sneaking into that All-American category when you have Rayvon Foley, who's ranked number 7 or 8, wherever he is, beating him 19-6. But, I get what people say. I can see him being a little American. I just don't see it. And so, I think this is a case of it being Ohio State's best option. Obviously I think they think highly of him. They think he could be a little All-American. But it's going to be a challenge for him. And I think Malik Heinselman, years 2, 3, 4, and then what would have been 5 is going to be much, much better than Malik Heinselman year 1. I think he's just one of those kids who is super dedicated. He's highly focused. From all reports, really good kid. He's just going to keep getting better and better and better. And I think he is still small for the weight class also. So, let's see. The Ohio State kind of didn't have exciting matches. They wrestled Michigan State and Indiana, which obviously not too much to get excited about there. But the one other thing I will say, which I think, Matt and I, again, we've been talking about this. And Miles Martin's dad said some awesome stuff on social media. I posted it on my Facebook page and my Twitter page and my Instagram page. I posted it everywhere. I might as well just read that to you while I'm here. While I'm here and I have your ear, I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. It was my most popular Facebook post on the Askren Wrestling Academy Facebook page in a while, that was shocking. It has 1.3 thousand likes. Wow. 557 shares. Greg Martin crushing it. He said, wrestling parents always ask me what's the secret. Ben, regarding Miles' development, answer's always the same. Took him where he needed to go. Let the coaches coach. Leave him alone. Parents can't want something more than the kid. Don't be an a-hole parent and miss the entire journey. Love it. I love every word of that. That was very well written. I appreciate him for sharing that. And man, parents, I realize it's tough to step back sometimes, but you guys step back, let the kid be the driver of that car. Let him go where he wants to go. Let them determine their own path. And so we get to Miles. So we're talking about. So this is how far Miles is in front of the field. Cam Caffey, who is having a very good freshman year from Michigan State. Emory Parker, who's number 2 in the country, had a match Friday night. It went into overtime. It was a really good match. It was a really close match. It was a really back and forth match. That's Cam Caffey having a good match against number two in the country, Emory Parker. Okay, Miles Martin goes in, wrestles Cam Caffey on Sunday. Tech follows him in little over 5 minutes. That's what I mean. That goes to show. I didn't think it was close. We don't think, Matt doesn't think there's anyone close to Miles Martin. I don't think there's anyone close to Miles Martin. There's not. It's a runaway. Miles is really, really, really good. It goes to kind of speak how good Bo Nickel is, and it goes to show us how far they both were above everyone else last year. So Miles Martin looking great. I don't think we have anything else to mention there. Let's go into Wisconsin, Penn State. Wisconsin also wrestled at Rutgers on Friday night. They did not. It was actually a tie, 16-16. Tiebreaker criteria goes to Rutgers. And there wasn't really any hugely highly ranked head-to-head matchups there. A lot of really good wrestling, but nothing super, like there was on Sunday. So Sunday, Penn State, Wisconsin. Penn State struggling at 25. Teasdale still doesn't win. I think that's a story. I think maybe he can't make the weight. Maybe that's what it is. And in which case, they're going to stick with Devin Schnupp all year. Brody Teske didn't look great at the Sudden Scuffle. I don't think they can pull him. I don't think pulling him out would do any benefit for their team. But Teasdale still wrestle Scuffle. Doesn't weigh in either time this weekend. Who did Penn State wrestle on Friday? I'm going to have to go look this up. Okay. Well, Penn State wrestled someone who I don't believe was very good on Friday. And Teasdale doesn't weigh in on either day. So Connor Brown gets easy win there. Roman Bravo Young looks great against Jens Lance. But the best match of the night, this match was just awesome. And so, knowing Tristan Moran really well, having done some work with them, I knew he could win some of these scrambles against Nick Lee. And because Nick Lee is not a powerful finisher, he's more of a volume shooter. He's going to shoot and try to wear you out. And he is good in the scrambles. He's just not great in the scrambles. So I knew Tristan, he'd win some of the scrambles, okay? But what I didn't see coming was that I thought Tristan would get tired. He's been struggling with his weight. He's shown it in some of the dual meets this year. And he wrestled not a hard 7 minutes. He wrestled a hard 10 minutes. He ended up winning in the second 1 minute overtime sudden victory. Awesome match, great scrambles. I would recommend watching it. There was a few protests in there, which they just take too long. Oh, well, I'm going to talk about. I couldn't remember who Penn State wrestled Friday night, and I wanted to talk about it. I'm sure I would have remembered eventually. Let's see. And the other one I want to talk about Penn State, which I think I said Penn State's going to win NCAAs by 30 points. I maybe even said something insane like they might win by more than anyone's ever won NCAAs by, which maybe that's a little crazy. Especially seeing Nick Lee falter a little bit, which, hey, Nick Lee is not head and shoulders above the field. He's still going to struggle against some of these other high-level 141 pounders. Can he beat Tristan Moran? Of course. Could he lose to him again? I don't think we'd be all that shocked. But the other one, which, I think they thought this was going to be a big deal. And this honestly, when we talk about weight, Tristan Moran, well, making him 441 was a challenge because this is the first time he's made it in a couple of years. Brady Berge, he Man, he's struggling. He's really struggling. So he takes Cole Martin down 3 times in the first period and was on fire and just fades. And Cole Martin escaped, takedown right out in the second, and takedown right out in the third. And, or was it 2 takedowns? Let me do the math. No, takedown right out. Takedown right out in the third. And just Berge just didn't have anything left. He didn't. Cole Martin turned up the pace on him. Berge didn't have anything left. I think it's probably a weight issue. Penn State guys are not known to have conditioning issues, but when you're looking at the NCAA tournament, it's a weight issue. Hey, that's a freaking 3-day weigh-in. You're going to have a lot of tough matches. Man, if I'm a betting guy and I'm looking at 149, and Brady Berge's got to make weight 3 days in a row, shoot, it's gonna be really, really, really challenging for them to get a lot of points out of Brady Berge. So I don't think they're counting on much there. Even though he's ranked number 9, number 10, somewhere in there right now. Obviously, he'll move down after losing to Cole Martin. I don't think Penn State can count on a lot of points at 149. And I don't really think there's a lot to talk about in the upper weights, Wisconsin, Penn State. Obviously, very disappointing. We talked about Gavin Teasdale. Vincenzo Joseph does not weigh in Friday or Sunday. I don't think there's any surprise, but there's not a lot to talk about it at Penn State. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything on Twitter. Didn't see anything about injury. Obviously, he just made weight not too long ago, right? They just wrestled. Scuffle, which was 9 days ago from Northwestern, was the last time he made weight. So I can't foresee that being an issue. My guess, little sick, injury, dinged up, something like that. So hopefully he'll be back quickly, but we didn't get to see. We didn't get to see it last year. We didn't get to see Wick Joseph last year. We didn't get to see it this year. In the dual meet, maybe Big Tens or Nationals, potentially. Bo Nickel doesn't get a pin. I guess that's kind of news since I think he had like 9 in a row, 10 in a row, something to that effect. So Bo Bresky actually wrestled him decent. It was only 5-2 after the second period. Bo Nickel kind of pours it on. The other big match there was Hilger Kassar number 3, Hilger number 9, and Kassar kind of takes it to him, unfortunately, and wins 11-5. I am biased. I do not have my bias. I cheer for the Badgers. I work with them. So yeah, it does make me a little sad when they lose. So let's go to Friday night. Northwestern versus Penn State. I only really feel as though there's one thing that we really need to be talking about. I don't think there's any other stories from this dual meet. Do you guys think there is? I don't really think there is. Stories, Nolf, next topic. A lot of people we're anointing Ryan Deacon as the one to challenge Jason Nolf. And Jason Nolf hammered him. There's really no other way around that. He put the hammer down, beat him 19-7, and I guess if you want to talk about the third period was kind of interesting. It was just bizarre. So Deacon's on top, and Deacon wrote him out the whole period. But he takes 2 stalling points and a locked hands point to do it. And so it's like, well, you lost 3 points riding him. So I guess in a sense it was a moral victory because he couldn't escape from you. But in another sense, well, you gave up 3 points. So I don't even know how to feel about that. I think I should feel like maybe it was a stupid decision to ride him, but maybe it was better than getting taken down a few more times. Jason Nolf is just that much better than anyone. No, Deacon was doing anything he could to get a moral victory, and I guess he got it with the ride out. But man, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess whatever. And some people were texting me or tweeting me more specifically that it was what I was talking about with the Amin and Anthony Facundo. I call him Anthony, Alex Facundo. But no, I thought Jason Nolf was actually trying to escape once he got to his feet. I just think Ryan Deacon was. It's a hard. If the guy is willing to take stall calls, it is a hard position to escape from. It really is. And Jason Nolf could not escape and ended up getting returned. And for whatever reason, Deacon's game plan was to take those stall calls. Not really sure why. I would be interested in asking that question, but he took the stall calls, took them well, took 3 points, wrote them out. I guess that's what it takes. Penn State's got Nebraska next week, so we'll see a few good matches there. We'll see Berger, Nolf, White, Joseph. Hopefully, if Joseph's back, and Shakur versus who we got? Come on, help me out here. Shakur versus Venz. So I think those would be that'll be 3 good matches there. Penn State, Wisconsin. I thought Wisconsin wrestled them well. I was actually kind of happy with the performance. And that's it. I think we're done with that one. It's hard to wrestle Penn State well at Rec Hall. Who else? I think we only have a few more to talk about. And this is my first monologue. I can't even see a time on the camera, so I don't really know how long I made it. I feel like probably been talking somewhere around 30 minutes now. Hopefully you guys are not getting sick of me. Actually, I want to give, who I want to give a big ups to? I like this guy a lot. So it always feels good when you get to give props to someone you like a lot. Keith Gavin, I think someone pointed out that they were Penn, they being Pittsburgh, 8-0 now. He goes out, gets a win against North Dakota State, and then they shut out South Dakota State 34-0 on the road. Dang, shut them out. And so that was a team. Pittsburgh was really, really struggling a few years back. They were looking terrible. Had all kinds of disciplinary issues and etc. And listen, I'm not saying they're going to challenge for a top 10 finish this year, but they're headed in a very, very, very positive. Let's see what they're ranked on the dual meet rankings. They're ranked 20th, so they're headed in a very positive direction. Beat North Dakota and South Dakota State this weekend. Yeah, good job, Keith Gavin. And then the other person, and I don't like to cause enemies on this podcast, but Maryland needs a new head coach. Man, they lose 36-3 against Indiana. That's, Indiana obviously has a brand new head coach in Jose. Oh my gosh, I call Jose. Jose is his cousin. I didn't just make up that name. FYI, I knew Jose and Angel back in the day. Angel Escobedo. Jose Escobedo is his cousin. Angel Escobedo getting things moving in a positive direction. The only match that Maryland wins is heavyweight. I wouldn't be sad to see Maryland get a new head coach next year. And I got nothing against Kerry, just strictly speaking from the performance aspect of that. And so the last match, it was the third match I was watching yesterday. You know what? I really wish this was like a Facebook Live so I could interact with my audience right now. Because it is, I will tell you guys, the Mental Mondays are significantly more challenging without an audience to interact with. That makes things way easier for me. See, here's another one I missed. I wanted to say Lehigh finally getting it together against Cornell, right? Lehigh's been struggling with injury issues all year. They beat Cornell 19-16. Obviously, that's a huge Ivy League rivalry every single year. So Lehigh getting back on track. And then also Nebraska beat up on, I forgot all about a whole bunch. Nebraska beat up on Northern Iowa. And that actually had 3 really kind of All-American high-level matches. Albert beats Josh Red. Taylor Lujan beats Mike Labriola, and Taylor Venz beats Drew Foster. So pretty good dual meet there. But nothing I'm that excited about. So let's go to Iowa, Minnesota. I guess the one I was sad about, I was sad that Stoll did not wrestle. Gable Stevenson, man, I mean, they looking pretty for Sam Stoll. We're talking what, 6 weeks till conferences or something around there. And Sam Stoll's wrestled 1 match or 2. 2 matches. He wrestled 2 matches. So this is a great rivalry, man. I enjoy watching this match every time. And Iowa kind of took it to Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. I mean, the first match was the closest match. It was really, if you haven't watched his throw, it's pretty fantastic. Caleb Young, Steve Blythe, 1-1. Steve Blythe goes in, hits kind of like a duck under high dive type move, bear hugs him. Looks like he's going to take him to his back, and as he's going to his back, boom, Caleb Young somehow, I don't know how, hits his other foot and launches Steve Blythe into the next dimension and gets 6 points, wins that match. That was like right at the end of the third period. Marinelli looks good against inferior competition. Skatska Bowman was interesting because Skatska looked great early and then faded late, and Bowman came on, and it was a really good match. So I said Young believes it's the only good match. I lied. This was a really good match. Jacob Warner fades in third period against Minnesota backup Dylan Anderson. Man, we talked about Brady Berge struggling at Penn State. I think if you're Iowa, I think you're worried about Jacob Warner. Obviously we've talked about 197 being one of the weaker weight classes, but I think you could obviously see some of these lower ranked guys sneaking in and sneaking a win on, say a Ben Honus from Cornell or someone like that, sneaking a win on Jacob Warner. I don't think that would be too much of a shocker. So I think, from a guy that you were counting on for some big points, hopefully going into this year, man, I don't know how many points you're counting on. I guess the big positive out of this is Caleb Young continues to look good. He's up to ranked, what's your rank, 6th or 7th? I wish you guys could talk back right now because I got no one to talk back to me. 5th! He's 5th on, I'm on Internet. I told you guys I'm on Internet because Flo has the pop-ups, and I can't have that going on during the show because then you guys hear that, I'm freaking moving around checking rankings and stuff. So he's 5th. Above Larry Early lost. Who did Larry Early lose to this weekend? He's been losing to everybody now. Who did he lose to? I'm blanking. I could look that up for you guys. So yeah, I think you're pretty happy about Caleb Young's performance so far. I think maybe he's gonna possibly offset whatever huge points you thought you were getting. Listen, going into this year, I thought Jacob Warner could be in the NCAA Finals opposite Bo Nickel. I didn't think he had a chance in hell to beat Bo Nickel, and I obviously still don't think that. But I think you're thinking that maybe he could have made the NCAA Finals, and now you're thinking, well, that's pretty questionable. He lost to a guy I never heard of, but apparently he's pretty tough. He lost to Virginia Duel's BC Leprade. I'm probably butchering that name. I don't know this guy. BC Leprade from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech wins the Virginia Duels, which Virginia Duels used to be a thing. It's not really a thing anymore. People aren't that excited about it. So I think he's thinking Caleb Young could finish. Man, I can't really see him beating, obviously not Nolf. No one's beating Nolf. Nolf, next topic. I meant to say that. I didn't say that earlier. Nolf, next topic. Burger Deacon Hidley, Caleb Young ain't beating any of them dudes. But, I could probably see him beating anybody else, if that's fair. Let's see. Warner. Stevenson actually got tired. I was kind of shocked by that. I don't know if you guys watched the match. He kind of gassed out as the match went on. Wasn't able to get too many takedowns in the third period. I don't know who this Connor Corbin guy is. I never heard of him in my life. I never seen the man. I couldn't really tell you anything about him. Oh, he wrestled 197 in the Midlands. Let's see. Well, he got majored by Patrick Brookie. So Patrick Brookie and Gable Stevenson, that would be a match, apparently. Let's see who he lost to at UNI. I bet you guys really enjoy me scrolling through the results here. He loses to Jacob Warner and Jacob Woodley at the UNI Open. And let's see. Third at high school state in 2017. Fan-freaking-tastic. Connor Corbin keeping it pretty close with, or relatively close with Gable Stevenson. I think Gable Stevenson probably let the environment get the best of him, wear him out a little bit. Spencer Lee, Sean Russell. I think Spencer's mojo's gone still a little bit. He wins 4-0, solid workmanlike win, but not the dynamic, dominant Spencer we saw prior to Midland. So we'll see. Let's see who Iowa has coming up. Check out their schedule, and Because, man, Spencer's got to get back on track, scoring all them bonus points. Let's see. We got, boom, who do we got? Rutgers. Rutgers doesn't really have a good 2,500. Illinois, Northwestern. That's the one we're all highlighting right there. And then pitching on February 24th. So that's a little ways away. Okay. So the last match, I know all of you guys want to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about a few more of these, but I think the last match you guys are all pretty excited about is Austin DeSanto, Ethan Lezak. There wasn't really a match. DeSanto hammered him. I think that's all there is to say about that. Lezak didn't look good, but if you're Minnesota, Lezak has had periods of the season where he doesn't really look good. A lot of people say, hey, he's down, but if you remember when Ethan Lezak took second at Nationals, he was I think a 7 seed, maybe a 6 seed. He wasn't that highly seeded. Antics after the match, a little bit of a dick move by DeSanto, but not too far out of the question in my opinion. I thought it was fine. I don't even know if I would have given a penalty point if I was a referee. A little overzealous, whatever. It's fine. DeSanto, do you. McKee over Murin. Good match, not great match. I think Murin's going to struggle with All-American, which I said before. We got McKee. Let me check what he was ranked. McKee is ranked, I think he's top 8, I believe. Let's see. Mitch McKee's at 6, so yeah, I think Max Murin's going to struggle with All-American. And the last match today, Lugo actually looks great against Tommy Thorne. Tommy Thorne, I don't even know what to think about Tommy Thorne. What is Tommy Thorne? You remember when he killed Joey McKenna? That was like last year, like 1 year ago. He kills Joey McKenna. Now he looks rough. I don't know. Tommy Thorne, I don't know what's up with you. Someone please tell me what's up with Tommy Thorne. But yeah, he's having a rough go. Maybe he's just a senior, ready to throw in the towel and be done with it, something like that. That's all I got for you guys. This is my first, maybe not my only, hopefully one of my last solo podcasts. I thought we had a lot of wrestling. I thought that was a lot of fun to talk about. I had 3 screens going yesterday. I was pumped to watch it all. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Have a great day. I hope you enjoy this podcast. And hopefully Matt makes it back safely from China. We do have our Kyle Snyder. Me and Kyle Snyder got on here, talked. We got our Kyle Snyder special coming up, I believe sometime this week. We have Funky Fight Camp coming up sometime this week, hopefully. And that's all I got for you. Peace.